Hello, hello to everyone that is jumping on and joining me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you guys could make it. It looks like we have a full house already, and still people are jumping on. So I want to give just a few minutes to allow people to get on and get settled and ready to really take in this content. So if you have the ability, grab a notebook, grab a pen, water, set yourself up for success here to really be able to be present in this, in that it might be close the door, ask your spouse or the people around you to be aware of you kind of having some concentrated space. And because we've got tons of people joining on, it looks like from all over the country. I've got people jumping on from looks like Los Angeles, Denver, Provo, Florida, even some places all over the world. We've got Jenny that just jumped on, Amber, Mike, Allison, tons. Awesome. Okay, well, I want to just give it another minute, let people get on and get really ready. I'm so excited for those of you that are here today and are here tonight, because I obviously know that there's a reason that you're here. So probably just another minute, and then I will go ahead and get started. So just get yourself prepared, grab a pen or notebook if you're just joining us, and be ready to dig into some awesome information as to how you can create some great results in your life. Oh my gosh, it looks like we have people from all over. This is cool. Okay, you guys. Well, I'm wanting to get started because I'm in excited mode. So, for those of you that are just coming on, like I mentioned, if you have a pen or a notebook that you can grab to be able to assist you in taking some notes, and letting yourself be as present as possible, I am first wanting to honor you guys for being here, for being someone who is committed to new possibilities and new changes in your life. So I honor your time. I know that it's valuable to you. I respect that, and I respect my time as well. And so my intention is to give you as much value as possible. I know that you are here because you want something different. I know that you're here because you're interested in change and having something better for your life. So there is so much that we're going to cover, and there's so much that I want to share with you, basically from studying this my entire life. I will give you as much as I can, but there's no way I can possibly give you everything that I know and I want to share with you. So I really look at this as a long-term relationship. At the end of this call, I'm going to share with you some other possibilities and opportunities of how we can continue to support you in creating this change, the results that you finally want in your life, and work together to get you those results that you've come here for. So, the truth that I want to share is really that losing weight is easy. And the question is that we're really going to focus on is, why aren't you? If you're on this call and you're experiencing low self-esteem, or you're not happy when you look in the mirror or with what you see, that you know that you're living below your potential, you're not where you want to be, then I know that what I'm going to share with you, it really can absolutely change your life. And what I'm going to share with you today, what we're going to cover and talk about, is why 19 out of 20 people fail at losing weight. That's a pretty big statistic and number. And the real reason that you have the results that you do, and the root causes that are holding you back from actually getting the results that you want. And then the three components to lasting change. I want to look at how we break through those unconscious blocks and barriers and the triggers that stop you from creating change, and then get to that key component required for success. And once you start applying these tools, you can experience a drastic change. I know that. So, my life literally is amazing. If you don't know that much about me, I'll just tell you that I'm a mother of two. I have two adorable little boys that I get to seize life with, and I'm super blessed to not only live in a body of health to do so, but to share my passion, my purpose every day, teaching others how to break through the barriers keeping them from an extraordinary body and an extraordinary life. But life definitely wasn't always this way for me. If you know what's gone on in my past, I struggled with my weight my entire life from the time I was little. It controlled my life. It was a prison, definitely, for me, that dictated what I did, where I went, what I wore, how I felt about myself. It literally affected every experience and realm of my life, because the body is the tool to seize and experience your life. And I tried everything to change it, even to the extreme of anorexia and bulimia for many years as a teenager. It was always this constant battle for me. It was day after day, year after year of fighting my body, tricking my body. What's the next thing? What's the next pill? What's the next diet? What's the next exercise? It was one thing after another that never lasted. And I was just so desperate for results, it literally consumed my life. I specifically remember being so ashamed of myself and how I looked and how I felt that just to go buy groceries, I waited until it was late at night when I thought that the grocery store would be the least busy, because the only thing that I could wear in my closet basically was my sweats. And I remember going to the grocery store literally like look around, okay, bolt through the parking lot, try to just hurry and get in, grab my little thing and walk through with my head down. I had to walk through the grocery store with my head down because I was so ashamed of myself and didn't feel good about myself that I did not want to even make eye contact with other people because I felt like their eyes were going to be judging me, and just it felt so painful for me to be in that space that I couldn't even hold my head up as I walked. I mean, so I know how that feels, and I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but where you're frustrated, you're tired, you're avoiding the mirror, you're hating getting dressed every day, you're hiding away from people, from life's experiences, you're avoiding get-togethers altogether. And the truth is, the reason that this experience in my body was what it was really doing was it was robbing me of my life, because the body is the tool to experience life and it affects every realm and area of your life. It was limiting my life by taking up my focus every day, my energy, robbing me of my life's experiences. And what it took was me discovering that I was committed to living a higher standard of life. And I became dedicated to figuring it out. So the information I'm going to share with you completely transformed my life. And since that time, as a nutrition fitness expert and life transformation expert on TV, the radio, through my books, my workouts, my audios, my events, I've been able to assist thousands of people in their journey. I've been blessed to assist thousands of people in breaking through their barriers to get breakthrough results. And so, whatever experience you're in right now, whether you're 20 or 70 years old, you have a lot to lose or a little, I know that you're here for a reason, and it's that you want different results. And I know that you've either struggled to get those results or keep them, and you're looking for why is that? Why do I keep sabotaging? Why do I keep doing this over and over? Why is that happening? And based on your past experiences, you probably think that why it has been happening or what's been stopping you is something like having the time, maybe, the energy, the effort, overcoming the sacrifices that you think are involved with needing willpower. If it's, you think it's your age, if it's injuries or sickness, if it's just life circumstances, thinking that there needs to be a certain amount of willpower involved or that you have to give up certain things. Whatever the experience is, I can tell you that I have worked with people of every type of individual, really, with almost every kind of circumstance going on. You name it, from running a business and being super busy to being a mom to just whatever it is. I've worked with all these individuals, and I've seen people that were the oldest, that did have, the biggest life circumstances, sicknesses, diseases, injuries, crazy schedules, all of these things. I've seen them shed the most weight and completely transform their lives. So even though these things that, are simple to think that are the reasons that are stopping you, I want to actually go deeper with you. I want you to look at the success came from a process of breaking down the blocks to continually get to the root causes, creating lasting change. So if you're looking to master your health, to experience amazing energy, confidence, and vitality that comes with mastering your body and getting results, then I'm going to invite you to consider being a part of our mind body transformation community, which I believe is one of the most powerful ways to get these results that last. Because what I can tell you with 100% confidence is that it is not how much time, it's not how much energy, the willpower you currently have, or where your body is currently, the state of your body right now, that determines the outcome and results that you can achieve. I've seen that in so many individuals, and I have proof and evidence of that. In fact, what I want you to hear me on is that I'm positive that these reasons that you think are stopping you are not even the true reasons you haven't gotten results or kept them. I want, in fact, you to realize that I'm positive actually, in fact, that you're most likely unaware of the real causes that have held you back. So I want to put your mind at ease to know that these surface reasons you think are keeping you from getting what you want are actually the easy ones to break through. That when you become aware of the true barriers holding you back, when you get to those root causes, that's when it can all change. So let me give you an example and open up your mind to bypassing these surface issues, and and allow you to see the deeper reasons that are why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. This is Sam. Sam had diabetes and she literally was going to die if she didn't do something different. So she came into my space because of this. She had a lot of pain associated to staying in the same place. She was raising her children and her grandchildren. She had a lot of people depending on her and literally knew, if I don't change, I'm going to die soon. That's a pretty big motive. And even with that, though, what she wasn't able to do was stick to the behaviors, stick to the diets, the programs, the exercises, time and time and time again. And she said every time she started shedding weight, getting close to her goals, she'd rebound. She'd sabotage. Something would happen and she'd go back to square one. Can you guys relate to that? But just a few of the unconscious beliefs and blocks we discovered with Sam was that, number one, she didn't even trust skinny people. She had a belief that I don't trust skinny people or healthy skinny people. There's an association around that she had. And let's look at that. How can you allow yourself to become a skinny, healthy person if deep down you don't want to be one? Number two, she had unconsciously decided that if she was healthy, then her husband wouldn't like her family would suffer, and she would be unhappy. So why would she think that? Because she grew up with a mother who was constantly on a diet, depressed about her weight, unhappy, moody. So she took on that she didn't want to be that way. And that if she was trying to be healthy, that meant everyone around her was suffering and that she would be unhappy and they'd be unhappy. So now, was she conscious of these decisions? No, she definitely wasn't at the time. And were these beliefs even true? These decisions and beliefs she had, they weren't. But it took digging them up and looking at them and breaking through them to allow her to bypass them. With Sam breaking down the beliefs and allowing herself to now do the behaviors, she shed her diabetes in just 64 days within my program. So for now, I want you to be open to letting go of those reasons, because these have nothing to do with why you're holding yourself back. And that's why I'm really here, is I want to look at what's really stopping you. What is really stopping you from the body that allows you to seize life the way that you want to experience it? Did you know that 19 out of 20 people fell? Studies show 19 out of 20 people fell when they're trying to lose weight. And this is why I think Mark Twain was spot on when he said, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. Obviously, what the majority is doing isn't working. Let's look at some reasons why that is. With all of the bad information and all of the confusion out there, we really don't even know how our bodies work anymore, or we're never even really educated in the first place. There is so much confusion out there that is actually sabotaging our results and our body's natural ability to be our ultimate fat burning partner. This breakdown mindset is causing us to continue to buy products, programs, pills, quick fixes, all of that out there, and yet we're still experiencing weak results and breakdown. How has this shown up for us in even our nutrition? Let's look at nutrition and exercise for a minute, shall we? What are we constantly bombarded with? Eat less. Take this diet pill to suppress your appetite, curb your appetite. It takes willpower. How many of you have ever tried eating like a rabbit or hardly anything at all to lose weight? I'm sure you've done it. It's part of our process in society. It's what we've learned to do. But let's break down this breakdown mindset. The long-term success rate of a dieter is less than 3%, and over 98% gain it back plus the weight. That they even more weight on top of that is what I'm trying to say. And then when you diet, what you actually do is your metabolism comes to a halt, your thyroid hormone dives, your abdominal fat storing hormone cortisol actually shoots up, your appetite stimulating hormone increases. What you're doing is you actually flip a switch to turn your body into a fat storage mode. And when we think that we get results, we think, well, no, I dieted and I got results. These short-term results are actually water loss, which is not permanent, and muscle loss, which, by the way, muscle is your fat burning machinery. Every pound of muscle that you have on your body, you actually it burns 1 pound of muscle burns up to 150 calories a day. The more muscle you are, the more you are constantly burning fat and calories. And actually, when you starve or diet, you're working against your body. So you're training it to hold on to and store fat. And so, for instance, this is Stacy. Stacy's entire fears holding her back with even going into the behaviors of health was misinformation and beliefs around food. She thought that eating healthy was too hard, it that if getting results meant I have to give up delicious food and the family fun and all the things she associated it to and starving, then it wasn't worth it and she wasn't interested. She couldn't do it. These were her results after just 90 days learning how to eat more than she'd ever eaten, and all of it getting to be delicious. But it was a lack of the right knowledge and also the beliefs and associations around that to allow her to even break through that. Let's look at fitness. There's the same misguided half truths that exist around exercise. I see people spend hours working out and still never get results. This is Tanner. He is actually the founder of a nationally known fitness experience called Ragnar Relay. So they hold races and events around the country and the nation constantly. And even being someone who ran constantly, he's a runner, he's into fitness, he was at a high level of fitness every single day. These were his results because of not knowing really how to work with the body. And with the right knowledge to turn your body into your ultimate fat burning partner and maximize your results in everything you do, Tanner learned that his workouts could be short, sweet, effective. He could do cardio in just 12 to 20 minutes. It burns fat for up to 2 days, and calories continue to burn for 2 days and burns 9 times more fat, actually. How to lift weight in half the time and get double the results. Literally, like, knowing how to work with your body, it delivers faster, more amazing results than you ever knew possible. Because the truth is that you can eat more, you can actually work out less and get breakthrough results. The truth, again, is that losing weight is really easy. Teaching you how to turn your body into a fat burning machine and work out effectively and get amazing results, no matter your age, no matter your injuries, no matter your past, no matter where you're at right now, I'm telling you, this is the easy part of what I do. This is really easy. However, I want you to realize something right now. Those components by themselves, they will not create the lifelong change and allow you to live in it with ease, allow you to get that body and keep that body and stay in it and feel peace and freedom with it. If it was just nutrition and fitness knowledge, which is everywhere, you're bombarded with it in our society, there's plenty of it out there, then why the heck do we have the results that we do in our society that 19 out of 20 people are failing in it? The reality is that we as a nation, what we are doing is not working. Those results are so clear. So that's continuing to target the symptom, which is your weight, with a behavior. Let's take another pill. Let's try another diet. Let's do another exercise. Continuing to live in the definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, instead of targeting the root causes that are holding you back. Getting to a solution that lasts for life. So you might be on here because you heard I like to rock it out, lock it down with Marci Lock, and some of the awesome stuff I teach. I do. That's part of what I do, and it's part of my passion. I love to teach as a nutrition, fitness, exercise that it's super effective. I love to teach you how to work out for 12 minutes and burn fat for 2 days, how to get rid of cravings completely and work with your body with nutrition and health with ease. That's what I teach in a form of being a fat burning machine. But if this was my only focus with you, I'd be wasting my breath and I'd be wasting your time, because the behaviors don't do any good for you if you don't allow yourself to do them, to live in them. So then how do we really change it? What I want to share with you is adding the missing link. The key component you've been missing is the mindset. Discovering why you aren't doing it. The components to lasting change, yes, there's nutrition. Nutrition is 80% of your results. You've probably heard that. Yes, there's exercise. You've probably heard that as well. So let's say that's 20%. There's 100% right there. But guess what you've been missing? That it's 100% mental. It's 100% mental. So let's dig into this. Let's dig into the real reasons you have the results that you do. So when you were born, you arrived with a clean slate. You didn't have any prejudgment or opinion on how the world works, how people act, how easy or hard it is to make money, what it's supposed to look like, what's even right or wrong. Literally, this gave you an opportunity to choose and decide what life gets to be like for you, what life is supposed to be like for you. So, why do you do what you do? It's because of your belief system, the belief system that you've created, and this is how it works. An event, or having your clean slate, let's say, with no prejudgment, when you have an experience or an event from what you see, you make a decision or a belief about that experience. And then this belief, it creates your perception or how you view that idea or area of life, whether it be how relationships work or people or money or your body. You create a perception on that idea or area of life. And how does that perception really affect you? This perception either will empower you or enslave you. And this is because your perception is how you see the world. It is through your perception that you see everything. So your eyes are this outlet from that universe that exists between your ears. And what those eyes are looking for is based on what's going on in your head, what's going on in your universe. So your perception creates how you see the world, how you create and see every experience. We want our beliefs and our perceptions, though, to be right. We're looking for them to be true. We want that sense of security that as human beings, we know how life operates. We know how things work, and our beliefs are right. So have you ever noticed that, first off, in that, what I want you to realize is that when you're wanting our beliefs to be right and to be true, that so in any situation, that's what you're looking for. So have you ever noticed that if you're in a situation and you're looking for the good, you will find the good. If you're looking for the bad, guess what you find? You will find the bad. Whatever you believe and are looking for is what you will find. So where does this really begin? I can remember beginning the focus on my body at age 4. And I know you're thinking, how could you care about your body at such a young age, or how your body looked at such a young age? But that is when I became conscious of it. And that's why I say I really did struggle my entire life living on the roller coaster. It started at age 4 with events where I made decisions. I'll share one that stands out in my memory of where this really started. One is that it's a memory of my mom being very emotional one day because she had gained back 5 pounds. The cause of her upset was literally a 5-pound weight gain. And I clearly remember the words she used, that she had worked so hard just to gain it back again. And the emotion attached was definitely what spoke to me, what made me know that it meant a lot to her. And so, from my 4-year-old perception, all I knew was that my mom was not happy and I wanted her to be happy. And I remember, even in an attempt to make her happy, I said, well, maybe God gave it back to you because you needed it. I mean, how cute are 4-year-olds, especially? I mean, that's a picture of me and my cute family, and I'm in the little red dress. At that time, that's all I knew, was that it was affecting her and I wanted her to be happy. But even though I didn't fully understand the concept, what I understood was that it had to do with her body and not being happy with it, that it was hard, that she wanted it to look a certain way and it was very important to her. And if it didn't look that way, she wasn't happy. She didn't feel good enough. So from this, I took on the decision, if I don't have a perfect body, I'm not good enough. This decision would impact the rest of my life. My perception on the world and what I had to be, and every experience was impacted from these beliefs and this decision. So this decision and belief, it even grew into the perception that I had to be perfect to be loved, accepted, and good enough. If any of you ever felt that way, you've got to show up the right way, show up perfectly, do everything well to be good enough, to be loved. And now, do you think that that was what my mother was really teaching me or wanted me to believe? Of course not. I mean, my mom is one of the sweetest, most amazing, caring individuals that you could ever be blessed to know. It was just the conclusion that I came to at a very young age based on the perceptions and the evidence and the experiences that I had. And so the general beliefs that I had taken on were an array of things, from life is hard and the body is hard and sickness and there's always something wrong, to the world's an unsafe, scary place and people are untrusting and I can't trust love and that I have to be perfect to be loved. So your belief system is something that you decided on, you learned, you were conditioned in from the time you were young, most likely never questioning them, because it's what you saw, what you knew, it's what you even learned from those that surrounded you, those that you loved, your experiences and the decisions that you chose and made. So ask yourself or think about it for a second, what do I believe that I can or can't have? As well as what I can or can't do. Are you even conscious of it? What your real true beliefs are? Have you ever questioned them? Because most of these started when we were young, and without being questioned and just conditioned in this, these can easily continue to be passed down from generation to generation. Just like my mom had taken on beliefs about her body and her having to look a certain way and be a certain way to be good enough, and that's what how in her behaviors then I perceived it and I took on. So the reason why this happens is because your mind is a map, really. It's linking the pieces together, searching for evidence of whatever you're asking it to find. So, because what if I told you, whatever you do, don't think of the color blue? What happened in your head? You instantly, when I say blue, a vision and a picture of blue shows up. No matter how you tried to fight it, most likely some image of blue flashed in your head. But didn't I tell you don't think of the color blue? And this is because your mind's communication system with the body, it works in visions and pictures. So what happens? Your mind sees a vision, even though the specific direction given was don't. And we're trained from the time we're little to focus on what we don't want, what we don't like, and that our mind sees that and focuses on it. Now you can understand maybe why what your kids see and are focusing on when you say, don't do this, don't jump on the couch, don't fight with your brother. We're focused on what we don't want. And all we're doing is putting that image and that thought and that process and that focus into our minds. So let me ask you, what do you see yourself as in your head? If I said, what's the image of you in your head? Probably the most common is that you don't see yourself in the lean body that you want because you can't even imagine having it. And this is what you believe you can have, what you deserve, and what you are. That is what your mind believes you want. And so it's also trying to protect you in giving you what you want. Whenever you get close to that comfort zone or start to shed weight, or it looks like it's outside of what you believe you can have or deserve, that's why sabotage, that's why things will show up to keep you back in that comfort zone. Your mind's just protecting you on what it thinks you want. And if by chance, maybe your experience is that you're actually seeing yourself in a healthier, leaner body, or not a body that you currently have, maybe a body from the past, or a body from the glory days or high school, or you see yourself in a lean body, but you're not experiencing that, this actually can be a coping mechanism and a pattern that you've created to not face the reality of what you're really experiencing, because it brings up fear and it looks like failure to you, so it's easier to ignore the reality, to not look in the mirror and just to like see yourself in your head as something that you're not really experiencing. So what your mind sees and is looking for, my point of all this, is that it can easily stop you in your tracks of moving forward to get what you want in your life, and it can be as simple as a thought. So I want to share with you an example of how life-changing believing a thought can be. On day one of my mind body program, Nicole had a thought. This is Nicole. She was lifting weights. She was actually standing in front of a mirror looking down, and she didn't want to look up in the mirror because I tried to just fix her form and said, "Okay, pull your shoulders back, look up." And she said, "No, I don't want to look in the mirror." And I said, "Huh, interesting. What's the thought going on in your head?" And she said, all of this that comes up: "I'm so fat, I'll never be able to do this. Even if I do lose weight, I'm not going to be able to ever keep it or maintain it. I've never been able to lose weight." And now these were all just thoughts. But what does the mind seek out from what we're focusing on? Evidence and proof of that thought to be true. So it says, yup, you're right. You're not going to be able to do this and keep it because you've never been able to. Remember that time that you failed and that diet that you did and that other thing, and how you've always been overweight and you've done this over and over again, and you've been overweight your entire life or for this long. So all the evidence going flashing through her mind and supporting that thought, it looks and it feels very true for her. And she wants to give up and be done. But again, this is just because of the past evidence she started building from a young age. This is also why it's easier for us to see the negative, the one thing we did wrong in a situation or didn't like, versus the 20 things that went right. This has been part of our conditioning. When we don't question the thoughts, we instantly think that they're true. Did you know that you believe 80% of what you tell yourself, but only 20% of what you hear from others? Only 20% of what you hear from others. So this stream of thoughts would have stopped her again because of how she's been conditioned, because of how we've all been conditioned, because we haven't been trained to question our thoughts or our beliefs. So the question worth asking is, what are you saying to yourself? What do you see in your head? What do you believe? And as you can see, Nicole, she in 90 days she shed 53 pounds and 56 inches because she got to bypass and break through those thoughts and those barriers that would have stopped her on day one that she was having this. The same experience she had over and over and over again every time she tried a program, every time she tried another exercise or nutrition or anything. And as you can see, that because she questioned her thoughts and it was part of her process that finally allowed her to break through the barriers holding her back, she learned how to recognize these barriers, retrain her mind, and shift it to allow herself to get results. And she still continues to do so. Being at 6 months was over 75 pounds and 72 inches and still continuing to go strong. So, the best way for me to describe how a belief really works is to picture it like a table. From the time you're young and the experiences you have, they create beliefs. So, with each experience, looking for the evidence or perception of what you believe, your beliefs get stronger and stronger. It's like you put another leg under that table, under that belief, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Like you're adding it from that evidence. And so what happens is, again, we're looking to prove our beliefs right or to see them as true, even if it doesn't make us happy. And we all have these limiting core beliefs that we took on, such as I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, I don't deserve it, I'm not accepted or loved. And from our experiences, we created evidence to support those beliefs of what we could or couldn't have, what we could, what we do, or what we can be. And so, how do we prove these beliefs right? There are three ways that we prove our beliefs right, and I want to look at those. The first way is that we attract it. We're looking for it. So we attract and find only that as evidence. The second way is we interpret it. We interpret the situations and things that happen. We perceive them in a way to support our belief that it's right. And the third way is that we act out. Our actions actually create it to be right, such as believing I'm stupid. I don't study for a test, so it shows up for me that I'm stupid because I take the actions to not support me or to make that right. So let's just go into an example to give you guys an idea. Again, wrapping your head around how this really comes up consciously in your life from subconscious things. So this is Drew, and Drew's aunt actually did my program. She had great success, so she told her sister about it, who was Drew's mom. Her mom was pre-diabetic on a lot of medications, was able to shed and release all of that, get off all medications, lose that diagnosis of pre-diabetic, and shed weight. And she came to me and said, "Marci, I know you've never had teenagers in your group, but my daughter, please help her. Please, would you be willing to take her on in your program?" And so after I connected with Drew and found that it was her decision, she really felt at 14, she didn't know who she was. She was about to go into high school and she knew she wasn't happy and she just felt lost. And so as Drew went into my program and we got into beliefs and the belief coaching, what came up for Drew and she shared was just a huge aha. So Drew had been she hadn't been conscious of these beliefs, obviously, that she'd taken on and how they had already designed her life experience by 14 years old. So long story short, in second grade, Drew wrote a love note to a boy. The wrong person got it. She was made fun of. What she decided was people don't like me and I can't make friends, which further evolved into I can't be loved. So at age 14, to create that to be right, she had gone into the behaviors to support that and created the body to push people away and the behaviors to experience pushing people away. So, an example she shared with me after she realized how she was proving these things right in her life was that she was in a specialty singing class for elite singers. She had a gifted, amazing voice. Okay. So, she said that when she was in that class, the popular girls had tried to befriend her. that one day they came up to her, they started talking to her, they complimented her, they said how what a great voice she had, and she literally told herself in her head, they don't really like me, they are just pitying me. And she put up a guard with them and pushed them away. So let's look at how that shows up in all the ways of proving ourselves right. It's just like if your belief is that, let's say, kind of like Drew's, people don't like me or I can't make friends. If you walk into a room of 100 people, you will attract to you the two people that that make you think that you're not liked versus the other 98 people in the room that think you're absolutely awesome. Or you'll perceive an experience with those two people to prove that they don't like you, or say that someone's looking at you from across the room and they're thinking she's really beautiful, or I want to talk to her, or I like her shirt, and instead you see them looking at you and you instantly perceive it or interpret it as they think I'm ugly, they don't like me, they're judging me. Or you prove yourself right by acting out, meaning you seclude yourself, you act like you don't want to talk to anybody, you hide away, you'll appear to be that snob that doesn't want anything to do with anyone, or keep yourself from interacting to prove yourself right, to believe that, see, I can't make friends and people don't like me. This is why you have the results that you do. Literally, let's look at it. You have the event that creates the decision and the belief for you. The belief creates your perception of how you see the world and every experience, and then all of this creates your behaviors and your patterns. And these only support our beliefs and prove them to be right. So what else affects your experience and proving yourself right is your identity. Linda's identity, we got to break through before she could ever create results with her body, was her identity was I'm the bigger one. I've got my dad's genes, and with her friends that she's the bigger one. If that's your identity, then that's what you believe you are. Cammie's identity, we could go into identity all day long, and I could teach how this shows up in your life. But Cammie's identity was as a perfectionist, which so many of us have taken on in our society. And so, out of fear of judgment and not being perfect, she hid away. She was too scared to do or try anything in life out of fear of failing at it. So we keep ourselves in a place that's safe and comfortable versus going after the success that we want. And on top of this, it's our conditioning and our associations, how we've been conditioned and trained since we were little, what we think it has to look like to be accepted. And so we take on these identities, behaviors, these patterns from our associations. And then it's even associations with food. Food is fun, it's a reward. Food is just the association to the comfort. Just as if you were turning to an addiction, we we're trying to externally make ourselves feel better for something that we are seeking inside. We go to food to fill up on a feeling that we want. It's just one of the patterns that you've created and been conditioned in since you were little. So when you become a part of the mind body community, you learn the system to overcome sabotage in any moment, to get what you want. And you also learn to shift these attachments to food through my in-depth coaching on relationship to food, where we get to look at the deep unconscious beliefs, attachments, associations, and the behaviors attached to them that allows you to shift it so that you can even dine out successfully. You can experience life and parties and holidays and go have the fun, but you're not unconsciously acting or attaching to false sense of securities. And what else I see show up for people as resistance holding them back in their life? Lots of stories, relationships. That's a huge one that creates resistance for people. And because a lot of times the spouse or those that are closest to us that love us the most, they can create some of the most resistance for us in making the changes based off of misperceptions. It's probably not even intentional. But I've seen spouses that know how unhappy their spouse is. So they support them in creating change, but then unconsciously they feel feelings of fear when change begins to happen, such as feeling inadequate themselves, or a fear of them being too good for them or moving on, or insecurities come up for them. And it's all because of perceptions, or for even, I mean, I've seen this so much with moms that there's not time for them to exercise or do things, or that they're not going to be able to make everybody happy, or it's selfish. We have these perceptions that we're not really conscious of, that it's just what is outside of our comfort zone. It's just comes down to perceiving that we're believing the thoughts and beliefs that are outside that comfort zone instead of becoming conscious of it, So what happens is it comes out in behaviors of complaining or frustration. So it looks like, yep, see, I have to show up this way for this person to love me. Or if I make time for myself, I'm going to upset everyone else. And then everyone's not happy. And then I'm failing and I'm not good enough. And so we revert back from even those patterns or behaviors because we don't have the consciousness to be able to control that. Does that make sense? So I see people stop themselves even in their thoughts that aren't true before they even really get going, from fear of taking the time for yourself to the I'm too big, I have too far of a journey to go, I'm too old for that because of sickness or injuries or age. This is so common. This is so completely common. But let me ask you, how well is that story working for you? Where are you going to be if you stay in that story? Because I've had people in my program that were in their 60s. I had a lady that was in her 60s, could barely walk. She had a sickness and disease where she was in bed almost all the time for 20 years. She did my program. We modified, we retrained her mind, and we created it a step at a time. And she literally shed 30 pounds in like 45 days, just halfway through the program. I had a girl with a belief from a doctor that she had a bad heart and that if she did cardio, she'd die. So every time we started to do cardio, literally she'd go into a panic attack. She'd start to have a hard time breathing. So we retrained the mind and the body to believe something different. And by the end of 90 days, she was running at a level 10 on the treadmill. So I've seen those with diabetes and all sorts of diseases, sicknesses, injuries, you name it. I've seen everyone break down and retrain the mind, retrain it to what you do want to experience, and that it is possible. But how can we think that the mind in and of itself doesn't affect the physical body? You tell your arm to move and it moves, right? I mean, you think a thought and it triggers an emotion. So when you work with your body and your mind, the component that's been missing, you get to have the experiences that you choose versus what you unconsciously were told and chose to believe, or your misperceptions that aren't really true. Because the truth is that you cannot live in these behaviors until you change the beliefs behind them. So, how do we really break through? How do we bypass this comfort zone that I've been talking about? Because what it really is it's fear that shuts you down. Even though you're not seeing it consciously, deep down, you don't believe you're worth it. You don't believe that you can have it. So you might not really feel worth it or believe that you can have it. But if you want something different and you have a desire to change, that's where we're going to start. We first make a true decision to change by getting real. And that means that we get to make a decision to change. So we get to consciously see what we're staying in, you staying in this place, what it's really giving you. I want you to associate more pain in staying here and more pleasure and joy and reward and happiness in creating change. Because the real concern isn't all those surface reasons that you thought was going to hold you back. It's not the time, it's not the effort, it's not the energy, it's not your age, it's not past injuries or where your body is right now. The real concern is the cost that you're paying in your life right now. The real concern is how is this affecting your life? Remember, it was robbing me of my life. How is this affecting every realm of your life, and how will it continue to affect every realm of your life? And what costs will you pay? Where are you going to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years if you don't decide to change? If you don't do something different? So what are those real costs? What are the real costs that you're paying in your life? Is it really just physically that you're suffering or missing out if you don't have a body of health? Because the physical costs, they're obvious. A lot of times, I mean, I know that's why a lot of people come to me. They want the body. It's no fun to hate going into your closet every day, to worry about hiding your body versus wearing whatever you feel like you want to wear. It's no fun to be sick and tired and sluggish, not having the energy, not be able to do what you want to do. But what are the costs and results you're experiencing from the physical poor health, from the obesity, from your body limiting you from living life to its fullest capacity because it is your tool? Because the truth is that your body is your tool to experience life. It affects every area of your life. But I want you to realize, this is not me saying that if you don't have the perfect body, you're not good enough. That's the misconception I was living in, striving for, and why I wouldn't also allow myself to have it. It's that you are already an amazing, perfect being and tool, whether right now you're experiencing a body of health or if you're experiencing sickness, disease, dysfunction, and challenges. The difference is that you can't be as effective as a tool to experience life when you're allowing your body to show up this way. And how is this affecting your relationships? because it's showing up in every realm of your life when you get real. For instance, with your relationships, what are the effects on those? When you're tired and sluggish, when you don't have any energy, you can't run and play with your kids, you can't join into the family sports games or activities, you don't want to go anywhere, you're hiding away, you feel too tired to participate. How great can your relationships be when emotionally you are living in a fog? Tell me that. What are the messages that your friends, your family, your relationships are getting when you are withdrawn, when you're having mood swings, when your behaviors are so up and down, when you're craving things and you're anxious and you just feel horrible about yourself? This creates a disconnect in all of your relationships. And what is the result when your self-esteem is so low, your self-worth is so low that it's hard to be intimate with your spouse? There's a disconnect due to how you feel. And they might have false perceptions as to why that is. They might feel like it's because you don't think they're important or you don't love them enough. And really, it's for you because you're so self conscious. And what this does is it leads to a disconnect in your relationship and can eventually lead to divorce. What's the true cost with your children when they learn more from what you do in your example than what you tell them to do? What really happens is you end up passing this same disease or challenge you battle onto them. That's why I took it on from my mom and so many that I've worked with. Their obsession with their body stems from seeing the pain and the struggle that their parent went through or someone close to them in their life, or getting that decision that had to validate their worth and who they were. So you pass on to your children the same battle. And how does being overweight even affect children? The Journal of American Medical Association said that children who are obese, they rate their quality of life as low as that of a child cancer patient. They're teased about their size, having trouble interacting, they playing sports. They suffer from the physical ailments of their weight. And what happens is they become the result. This is them becoming the result of the problem. Do you really want that for your children? How is it affecting you spiritually? Because how in tune can you really be when you're operating out of this trance state where you're under addictions and chemicals and you're tired and you're sluggish and you're emotionally up and down and uh, your body is your opportunity to be in tune with your spiritual connection as well. What is the financial cost? How much does it really add up spending the money that you're spending on when you're spending money on medication, on surgeries, on sick days, on doctor visits? The truth the truth that most people ignore is really that your self-worth does greatly affect your net worth, what you're able to create in income, your ability to do what will create a positive net worth in your life. Harvard actually evaluated a cost study around obesity and found that overweight individuals, they spent an average of 150% or an average of over $2,700 more on medical. $2,700 more and 150% more on medical. And the annual incomes were an average of over $8,600 less for obese women and over $4,700 less for obese men. And it all equated to making $4.71 less per hour. So really, tell me, how much do you think your health is really costing you? Because the overall cost is that it is affecting your entire life, that you're missing out on life. It's not really about the body. The body's just your tool for your spirit, your soul, your connection to everything. It's your interaction in life. So tell me this, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Are all these costs worth it to you? And if not, then how do you really change it? How do you get to that change? Here's what you need to succeed. Commitment, number one. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Are you experiencing enough pain in where you're at, in staying here, that you want something different? Are you willing to get a little uncomfortable to finally get what you want? Because your comfort zone is just that safety net that you predetermined you could have. It's the fear, the false evidence appearing real, and everything you want is just outside that comfort zone. Second thing you'll need is the right knowledge. That includes the 3 components to create that lasting change. That means how to maximize your results and get the body with ease, but only by breaking through the beliefs to easily live in the behaviors for life. Then you're going to need the right tools. It is easy, again, to show you how to get results with the body, but the behaviors won't do you any good if you don't have the tools to allow yourself to live in them, to break these things down and get what you want. Everything showing up for you externally is because of what's going on internally, what's going on inside of you. And so these tools, they've allowed me to transform my life's experience along with thousands that I've shared it with. But the tools break through all that is limiting you. And what it can do is it allows you to move on to have a greater and greater and greater life always. And the next thing you need is the right system. You definitely need the right system, because none of this would be effective without the system to implement it. If you don't know how to implement this into your life and create that change, then it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. No, let me say that again. Knowledge is potential power. Potential power, because without the right implementation of that knowledge, it is just knowledge. And this is the most in-depth system to get you a healthy, sexy body that breaks through the barriers stopping you from having the results, but also to give you that life that you want. And lastly, you need the right coach. Now, I have been where you're at. I rode that roller coaster. I tried everything, and I know what that feels like. But more importantly, I know what it feels like to shift it. I know what it feels like to experience the transformation, to get to that freedom and peace. And I know how to get those results and then keep them for life, easily living in peace and freedom with the body. I want you to hear that it's possible, because it might seem crazy to you that it is, because I've now been able to be in that space for over 10 years. I've led thousands down the same journey. I've been blessed to lead thousands down the same journey. And the results prove it, because results really don't lie. But I promise you that when you utilize these tools and finally get to the root causes holding you back, you turn everything that stopped you in the past and limited you into limitless possibilities. But the key component required for you to succeed is you. That's what's been missing. You were missing from the equation. Addressing who you truly are, your mind, your body, your spirit. The mindset has to be present to create consciously what you want to experience. That is why the only investment that makes sense is the investment in you. When you realize that you are the key component, you can understand that you are your greatest asset, that nothing else, no worldly possessions, relationships, money, or anything can come about without you. You are the only one that can stop you from having what you want, and you're also the only one that can give it to you. Now, where would I be if I was still living this life? If I was living life in that breakdown mindset? What if I still believed the false evidence appearing real, or the fear that I saw, which was looking at myself through foggy glasses? It was based off of false perceptions, beliefs, thoughts, decisions that limited me. What would my life be like for my little boys? What would I have passed on to them? What beliefs and perceptions would they then be in and experiencing for the rest of their life? Where would I be? I can tell you, I know I would be experiencing the same things in the same place, because that was my belief system. And instead, I became committed to giving myself a new life experience, the one I wanted to have. And instead of looking for someone or something to externally fix problem after problem, I had to do something different. I did something different. I went internal. I went internal to discover what was really holding me back. And the only thing truly keeping you from what you want is your story. What takes you from that story of why you can't have it to you speaking and living in the story of your success? Everyone has a story, but do you want to stay in that story? Do you want to stay in that same experience? Or do you want to create the story of your life's happiness? What finally allowed me to live in my own greatness and allow the true Marci personality and identity to show up, for me to find out who I truly was, for all that to come out and to experience the life I wanted and the body of help that I wanted as my tool, was allowing myself to just break through the barriers. And I got to create a new story. Now, my life is amazing because I changed my beliefs, my perceptions, my identity, associations. I learned the tools to continue to break through the comfort zones and barriers in every realm of my life, so life just gets more awesome. I leave I live what I say is a freaking fantastical life. I get to be a tool in God's hands, sharing my passion and purpose with the world, letting go of fear and judgment, giving others the same freedom. And while doing so, I've got to experience the most amazing life. Things that I never would have dreamed were possible in my limited mindset and belief system before. I got to climb mountains and glaciers and explore caves and backpack through New Zealand, all while filming how to eat and exercise and get paid to do it. I mean, I've gotten to travel and play, adventure and experience new things, discover what I truly love because I believe I can and I'm worth it and I get to have that experience. I've been blessed to work with so many groups of people through my programs to teach these tools, from successful dining out experiences to working out events to assisting people in seeing what they really can do. And because the only limitations that you have are the ones that you've given yourself. I've been able to teach people how to enjoy life's experience and seize life moments and try new things like fitness events and retreats, allowing them to realize that it doesn't have to look a certain way for you to participate in life and to stop missing out on life and get to seize the experience. And yes, I got to let my happy come out. I got to discover Marci being happy. And I never knew that it was in me or who I truly was because I was holding it back my entire life. Focused and worried about trying to show up for everyone else and living in a certain identity of perfectionism and afraid of judgment and worried and living in masks and validations, never experiencing happy. So now I just get to choose happy. I get to relish in my relationships, my experiencing and seizing life with my boys. I've gotten to enjoy the amazing opportunities to share these gifts and tools on TV, radio, speaking all over the country, and meeting and working with fabulous people. And most of all, I mean, this is why my boys think I'm really cool, is I even know Spider-Man now. That's just super awesome, right? There's my validation right there. So, more importantly, I share this with you because I know that you want a change in your life. And I know that you can change your life in just a moment. The power to change your life is in the present moment because it is your choice in each decision, each moment, each thought, each behavior. I am not any different than you. I was in the exact same place. And it's the moment you decide to change and you take that first step that you can create a completely different path for yourself. And I know this from experience. As much as I would want to share this to you, I want to give it to you. You have to choose it. And so I want you to look at, now, do you want to keep getting those reasons or the results in your life? Because you can either keep proving your limiting beliefs right, or now you can choose happy. And I'm passionate about sharing this freedom. But how you move forward, if you want to move forward with me, it's simple. If you want different results, it's time that you do something different. So you get to take action to create the life that you want. You are either proactively creating your life or just getting what shows up from your unconscious beliefs, identity, and patterns. Choose to be the creator of your life by making a commitment to long-term change. If you don't take action and commit now to doing something different, you'll continue to get the same things and same results. You'll stay in that 19 out of 20 that fell. So ask yourself, are you committed enough to take action to get new results in your life? Are you willing to pay the price to get the results that you want and be uncomfortable? Let me share with you what I've created to support you in making these changes in your life, which I believe is the most powerful system. So, what's automatically probably going to happen for you right now is that you're going to think of all the reasons why you can't do it. You're looking for validations to support you in staying in the same place where deep down there is a reason it's comfortable for you. It might be fear of change, judgment, failure, rejection, associations attached, or the deep belief from all the evidence shouting out at you that you can't really have it. But again, think about, do I want reasons or do I want results? Do I want to be right in those limiting beliefs or do I want to be happy? So this is what you get to do to break through and allow yourself to take action to make the changes in your life for a different experience. Are you ready? You get to ask yourself the right questions. What is possible? How can I create that? What would work? Whatever the resistance is for you, if you say, I can't because, guess what? You're right. You will find more evidence to support that you can't because, and you'll continue to be right. If you are waiting for the right time, it will never come because something always keeps you in your comfort zone. And seriously, isn't each day missing out on the life that you are meant to have, the life that you want? Doesn't that make right now the right time? Whether you think you can do it or think you can't because fill in the blank, you are right. But again, right or happy, make a choice. You can stay in your story of right, or you can choose and now create happy. I know you can. I've seen people with the biggest life circumstances, the constraints of time, of money, of beliefs and fears. All of these people change their lives, but the first step was allowing themselves to decide they are worth the change because they wanted something different. But you won't even take action to change your life after I'm done talking unless you first take that step, which is ask your mind to find the support and the thought and the belief that you can do this. You can find a way. So step one is ask yourself the right questions to find a solution and move forward on that change. Change that feeling of fear coming up for you or the thought of I can't to excitement. Instead of the fear and the worry that whatever you're attaching to, which probably isn't even true, I want you to switch it to the thought of what the life will be for you, what life you get to live, the experiences you can have, the relationship connections that you can make with your loved ones when you are no longer holding yourself back and hiding away from life. You're too tired, you're embarrassed, you don't want to interact, you're on edge, you're unhappy. Instead, how great of a life experience will it be for you when you allow yourself to move forward on the life that you want? Bottom line, I know you're going to be wasting your time proving your beliefs right if you just keep trying new behaviors over and over again. This is my passion and purpose and why I want to share with you how you get to that true lifetime result and freedom. I want to assist you in how to overcome these steps to retrain, rebuild, and recreate your life to the life that you want to experience. Myself and my team want to hold your hand through the fear, the perceptions, because we've been there, we've done it, and we know the fear, but we know the freedom that comes when you break through. So if you take a step towards me, I promise you, step through that fear and take that step towards me that's holding you back, I will meet you more than halfway. If this is where you're at, if you really want something different, then I invite you to be a part of our mind-body transformation community to finally get the results that you want in your life. And this is what I've created to support you in that change. A real quick overview of what my mind-body transformation at home program includes is this is over 90 days of nutrition coaching, fitness coaching, and mind coaching. And the exercise, everything. So what's great about this is that when you work with me over an extended period of time, it really allows you to break through those beliefs and patterns to create lifelong results. And I know just by the fact that you're here, you are not looking for short-term roller coaster results anymore. You want these changes to stick. This is a very doable at-home system. Why is that important? Well, so you can do it in the comfort of your own home, around your schedule, your family, your life, no matter your age, your current fitness level, or where you're at right now. You can easily make this work to create those changes in your life. This also includes my 26 Marci Lock unique style workouts, which you won't get anywhere else. These are designed to be short, sweet, and effective, delivering more powerful results than you'll ever get through any other system. This also includes the 2 nutrition shifts that I teach to get results that last for life. The first shift that I really teach is turning your body into a fat burning machine, learning how to eat healthy and delicious with ease. The second shift is learning how to make it effortless, to stay lean for life, literally learning how to be lean for life with ease and taking it to that place where it's easy to live and exist in a 6-pack or an 8-pack. And that might not even be your focus right now. It's just to have more health or energy or play with your kids. But it's teaching you these shifts to learn to work with the body to be super effective. Next, it's my live weekly breakthrough coachings with me and the mind body community once a week. This support and accountability is priceless because this allows you to break through all those things that would have stopped you in your tracks. If you feel stuck, you have questions along the way, you have the support to get your questions answered and continue to progress to the results that you want. And what sets us apart from everything else, I guarantee, is the step-by-step breakthrough mind coaching, teaching you the tools to bypass all the barriers in every realm of your life, from creating the body of health that you want, to your beliefs, to the barriers and patterns in relationships, your money creation, going from surface to subconscious on your journey of self-discovery. And this process gives you that control, that choice, and that freedom, and gets you what you want. Spots are limited and results are 100% guaranteed. But for me to learn this information and have invested well over 100,000 on myself in studying the mind and the body my entire life, and all of this intense knowledge that I've taken on, because all of the value that I give through this program, and I want to give you and I want to share with you and teach you all of this, honestly, for people to work with me in the past and in my programs, it was a minimum $6,500 on up to a 15,000 plus experience of different touches and just different programs and experiences for me to join my local boot camps, to do whatever I was doing. But these individuals, it was completely worth it for them because of the results they got in their life. I've seen lives completely transform, and that is why I'm so passionate about it. But because, again, this is my passion and purpose, I dedicated myself to being able to give it to more people. So I created a system that could deliver incredible results to people across the country and the world. And I'm committed to making this so affordable at a fraction of the price that anyone, anywhere, ready for change can afford it and step into this process to real, lifelong results and freedom. Because what is the most important for me is seeing people change their lives and seeing how it affects not only them, it's a ripple effect. It affects their kids, their spouses, their friends, their families, their businesses. And I've been blessed to be a part of it. I've been blessed to experience that. And that has just made my passion grow even more. It becomes this ripple effect that will, it's a revolution. It's become a revolution of affecting so many people.